You're watching This Is Exclusive with me, Shavin Sen. 48 hours ago, we told you that there was going to be a mega crackdown on the Khalistani groups, their associates who have been operating here. What you see behind me, the headquarters of the National Investigation Agency, where this operation was planned out. In the last 4 days, officers from various branches have been brought in so that this big crackdown can be carried out. What we are picking up right now, over 50 locations where these raids were carried out, over a dozen officers were involved in this operation. It turns out that at least more than 20 Khalistani terrorists are now under the radar, starting from Arsh Dalla, a terrorist who's now hiding in Canada, to Goldie Brar, Lawrence Bishnoi and a few others. Gangs which have got direct support from Pakistan's ISI. And remember, the National Investigation Agency has carried out one of the biggest operations as far as the Khalistani movement is concerned. Take a look for all the developments, and then we take you through some of the breaking news coming in. We get you the inside details of this operation carried out by the National Investigation Agency.
On Monday, Republic broke the news of an expected crackdown on Khalistani network.
Our topmost sources are telling us at Republic that there will be mega action against Khalistani supporters in the next 48 hours.
Breaking coming in, crackdowns on gangster Khalistan terror network. Now the NIA has raided various locations in Punjab, Haryana and a number of other states.
48 hours later, the National Investigation Agency launched raids at 53 locations in 6 states. Related to associates of Lawrence, Bambiha and Arsh Dalla gangs.
Is a raid which is being conducted over here in the outskirts of Chandigarh. So you can understand that how vast and how big actually the network of these terror gangster network actually is. These terror gangster network is such big is because of the petty criminals which at least these gangsters have been able to get.
50 locations has been going on in the fresh series of these raids that has been conducted by the NIA in Rohtak and Barnala. These are the two latest raids that have been also conducted, and especially in Uttarakhand, where the person named Zora, who has been raided because of the alleged links with the Arsh Dalla.
राजस्थान के 13 जिलों में ये छापेमारी चल रही है, जिसमें झुंझुनू, हनुमानगढ़, सूरतगढ़, गंगानगर और जोधपुर शामिल हैं। मैं आपको बता दूं कि 3 हिस्सों को जोड़कर एनआईए कहीं ना कहीं ये पूरा मामला इन्वेस्टिगेट कर रही है, जहां आतंकवाद, गैंगस्टर्स और ड्रग पैडलर्स को जो है आपस में इन कड़ियों को जोड़कर इनपुट के आधार पर एनआईए जो है ये पूरा मामला इन्वेस्टिगेट कर रही है।
The raids were launched after a tip-off was given that Khalistani extremists based in other countries were funding overground workers in India through Hawala channels for drugs and weapons.
These raids are mainly focused on the 3 axes. First remains to be the Khalistani radicals, second the terror infrastructure, and third and the most important remains the gangsters that they have involved with them to carry out the activities for the Khalistani radicals. The team of more than 150 officers from the National Investigation Agency has been formed to carry out raids. The raids were planned in the 3rd week of September, and 4 days prior to the execution of the raids, the teams were formed. The officers from the different parts of the country are part of the teams, and in each place where the raids are underway, a total of 51 places are there. So at each place, 2 to 4 officers of the National Investigation Agency are there.
The NIA earlier had also issued details of 43 Khalistani terrorists and their associates who had links to Canada. The crackdown comes days after Trudeau's unproven allegation against India. And few days after, Khalistani sympathizers took to the streets of Canada to protest killing of Nijjar. And while K elements are breeding on Canadian soil, India has given a tough message to Justin Trudeau.
Canada actually has seen a lot of organized crime, relating to, the secessionist forces, organized crime, violence, extremism. They're all very, very deeply mixed up. 2, we told the Canadians, saying that, look, if you have something specific, if you have something relevant, let us know. We are open to looking at it.
India's stand is clear. It has never and it will never tolerate anyone who tries to plot against the integrity of India. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
Starting with some more breaking news now coming in. We're getting you full details of the action that has been carried out by the National Investigation Agency with regards to how exactly have they been operating in the last 1 year. 87 bank accounts of Khalistani terror gangster network has been frozen so far. 38 weapons have been seized in 370 raids in 7 rounds so far. 13 houses and land has been attached under CRPC 83, Section 83 of the CRPC. 750 digital devices and documents have been seized, and red corner notices have been issued against 9 Khalistani terrorists. We've also accessed the full list of Khalistani terrorists who are under the scanner, first beginning with Arsh Dalla, who's actively participating in various events in Canada. He has been staying in Surrey for almost 4 years now. He's the man who has been plotting various terrorist activities in Punjab with the help of Hardeep Singh Nijjar. In fact, he's already been charge-sheeted by the National Investigation Agency that you see here behind me. In fact, he's been active in Canada for 4 years. He's been identifying targets for extortion, firing at residents of targets to create fear. He's also pushed ready to use IEDs and drugs from Pakistan via drone and smuggling. In fact, it is Arsh Dalla who sent the money for providing safe haven to Bambia gang in Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan, Delhi, Uttar Pradesh. It is Arsh Dalla who's hatched the conspiracy to kill Maharashtra builder Sanjay Biani. And this entire dossier that has now been accessed by Republic TV. I'll quickly go across to the largest group of reporters getting you every details of this mega action carried out by the National Investigation Agency. Starting first with Gursimran, who's getting us the latest from Jammu. Then you also have Piyush Ori joining us from Chandigarh, where the action is right now. All those who have been detained have been brought to the NIA office in Chandigarh. Simran is joining here in the national capital. We have our reporters in Amritsar also, and a very special guest is going to join us on this broadcast, revealing details of the extortion racket that has been carried out, the super exclusive on Republic TV. But first, let me quickly go across to Gursimran, who's getting us the latest details. Gursimran, the full dossier has been accessed by you with regards to the action that has been taken by the National Investigation Agency. First, with regards to what is it that the National Investigation Agency is aiming right now? Why is it being touted as the biggest operation carried out so far?
The Khalistan terrorist and the gangster Nexus, National Investigation Agency in past 1 year counts to 365 days have raided 370 locations. So on a daily basis, a location was being raided. This is the intensity with which the National Investigation Agency was working, and as a result of which 38 weapons have been seized, and also the major action that was taken was 87 accounts of the Khalistan gangsters link that have been frozen. The money that these accounts have got from the illegal trade, be it from inside or via Hawala, they got the money. These accounts were seized. More than 38 weapons were seized, and along with that 1250 rounds were also seized by the National Investigation Agency in the 370 raids that they have carried out. Apart from this, 13 houses and their properties have been attached by the National Investigation Agency after initiating the process under CRPC 82, which was followed by CRPC 83, and now the UAPA 33 subsection 5 will also be implemented on the properties. That means these properties will become the property of the state, as it will be confiscated by the agency. Apart Apart from that, 9 red corner notices, including to Arsh Dalla, have been issued by the concerned agency after being approached by the National Investigation Agency. So this is the extent with which the National Investigation Agency is working to ensure that these Khalistani gangster radicals don't get a free run while they are sitting in India or sitting in some other country, because they have been conspiring against the sovereignty of the India and have proven detrimental to the internal security. Shavan.
Well, thank you very much, Gursibrat, for getting us the latest details. Over to now a very important news break coming in. This entire investigation that has been carried out by the National Investigation Agency, and the first charge sheet that was basically filed was with regards to extortion calls that were being received by businessmen in the state of Punjab. We are now joined by one such businessman who allegedly received an extortion threat from Pakistan-based terrorist Harvinder Singh Rinda and Lakhbir Singh Landa and it was in Tarn police that this FIR was registered. Gurmukh Singh is joining us on this broadcast. सबसे पहले आपसे ये जानना चाहूँगा कि ये जो extortion threat की बात कर रहे हैं, ये कब आया आपको कॉल और उस कॉल में क्या बताया गया था आपको? गुरमुख जी, आपसे जो सवाल मैं करना चाह रहा हूं वो एक्सटॉर्शन की जो आपको कॉल आपके पास आई उसमें क्या कहा गया था और उसके बाद क्या पता चला कि आखिरकार ये कॉल कहां से आया और क्या डिमांड कर रहे थे वो? We'll try and go across to Gurmukh Singh in a short while from now. We'll try and reconnect in a short while from now. We're getting another breaking news before we reconnect with Gurmukh Singh in a short while from now. Let's take the other big breaking news coming in, and we'll go across to Piyush Ori, who's joining us from the National Investigation Agency's office in Chandigarh. Let's take you through the breaking news now coming in. In fact, we're getting in details of the raids that have been carried out. The focus of today's raids, which are basically aimed at dismantling the terror gangster drug smuggler Nexus. We are being told that they've been able to seize arms and ammunition. So the weapon suppliers have been on the target. You have the finances as well as the logistic providers. They've been associated with the terrorist groups. They are under the scanner. In fact, we're given to understand that digital devices that have also been seized by the National Investigation Agency. We'll take you through some of the details that are now coming in with regards to Arsh Dalla, one of the main accused in this particular case, the man who was in touch with Hardeep Singh Nijjar in Canada. It was Hardeep Singh Nijjar and Arsh Dalla who were basically recruiting people here in Punjab to carry out their extortion racket. In fact, we are getting in full details of the operations that were carried out from Canada. Interestingly, for the last 4 years, Arsh Dalla has been active in Canada and he has been identifying people who are part of the extortion racket. In fact, recruitment was being carried out in Punjab. At least 4 to 5 people have been recruited by Arsh Dalla. I'm told that businessman Gurmukh is joining us on this broadcast. We'll then go across to our reporters in a short while from now. Gurmukh जी, बहुत-बहुत धन्यवाद रिपब्लिक टीवी से बात करने के लिए. सबसे पहले आपसे ये सवाल करना चाहूँगा कि एक्सटॉर्शन को लेकर जो आपने कंप्लेंट की थी तरन पुलिस के पास, ये कॉल आपके पास कब आया, किससे आया ये कॉल, और ये कॉल रिकॉर्डिंग जो आपके पास है ये हम भी जानना चाहेंगे कि आखिरकार आपको कब पता चला कि ये कॉल रिंडा से आ रहा था और उसके बाद क्या हुआ?
मैं जब अमृतसर में था तो रिंदा का कॉल कहूँगा तो उसने बोला मैंने पहचाना, मैंने नहीं पहचाना, कहूँगा मैं हरिंदर सिंह रिंदा बोल रहा हूँ पाकिस्तान से. उसने 9 बार 10 बार कॉल की मुझे और बाद में उसमें मेरे बेटे, मैं अपने बेटे को भी जानता हूँ कि वहाँ वो कहाँ पड़ता है.
गुरमुख जी, उसके बाद आप तरन तारण पुलिस के पास जाते हैं, एफआईआर रजिस्टर होता है। इस पूरे इन्वेस्टिगेशन से अब तक क्या पता चला कि आखिरकार वो किस तरह से एक्सटॉर्शन रैकेट चला रहे थे, और क्या आपको कुछ पैसे की फिरौती की मांग की गई थी?
पैसे मांगे थे, मैंने उससे बोला कि मेरे पास पैसे है ही नहीं। तो बाद में वो बोला कि जब आप मेरे पीछे लेके पैसे आओगे हम लेंगे नहीं। मैंने कहा जी मेरे पास पैसा है नहीं, मैं दूंगा कैसे। तो उसने बोला मेरे लड़के की फोटो भेज दी। तो उसने लोग हम मार देते हैं, चाहे 2 दिन में मर्डर करें, चाहे 10 दिन में मर्डर करें, चाहे 2 महीनों में करें, चाहे 2 साल में करें, हम आदमी को रेगुलर देते हैं, मर्डर कर देते हैं। उससे पहले मेरे 2 साथी थे, अमर फौजी और जग्गा, जिनको चपट्टी में उन्होंने मर्डर किया था। वो थे पुलिस शेखों और निक्का खडूरिया, जो मुझे मारने के लिए मेरे घर के आसपास 1 महीना घूमते रहे। वो भी पुलिस के पास शिकायत है। उसके बाद इनका फोन आया और इनके बाद 1 महीने बाद मुझे लखबीर लंडा का फोन हुआ। वो फोन करके बोला कि भाजी क्या हाल है? मैं ठीक है, को बताना ही आप मार देंगे, छोड़ेंगे नहीं। तो मैंने बोला जी आप मार देंगे, आप मार सकते हैं, कुछ भी कर सकते हैं, अब जहाँ मर्जी भाग लो। मैंने पुलिस एफआईआर दर्ज कराई और मैंने सिक्योरिटी भी मांगी। मैंने उनसे 6-8 बड़े आदमी मांगे थे कि मुझे सिक्योरिटी दीजिए, मेरे परिवार का और मेरा भी ख्याल रखे। और उन्होंने जब मुझे पूरी सिक्योरिटी भी नहीं दी, मुझे 2 आदमी दिए सिर्फ।
गुरमुख जी, आप कह रहे कि आपको 2 कॉल आए, एक रिंडा और दूसरे और एक पाकिस्तान से और एक कॉल आपके पास आया। उसके बाद पुलिस का ये मानना था कि सिर्फ 2 गार्ड दिए जाएं और इस इन्वेस्टिगेशन को लेकर उन्होंने कुछ ज़्यादा कुछ उन्होंने किया नहीं। उसके बाद क्या आपके पास और कुछ कॉल आए थे या आपको कोई आपके आस पड़ोस में किसी को या आपके बिजनेस कम्युनिटी में और किसी को भी ऐसे कॉल्स आ रहे थे उस वक्त?
और जी मेरे भाई वाले उनको भी आए थे, मुझे भी दोबारा कॉल आई थी और मेरे के लोग भी घूमते रहे, जो मैंने उसको भी इतला की है। इसलिए मेरा बेटा अमृतसर पढ़ता है। मैंने उनको बोला कि मुझे सिक्योरिटी मेरी फैमिली के लिए चाहिए। जब उन्होंने मुझे 2 ही आदमी दिए, मैंने 6 से 7 आदमी जी दी।
गुरमुख जी, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद रिपब्लिक टीवी से बात करने के लिए। Gurmukh happens to be one of the many businessmen who were the target of this gang that was being run by Rinda based out of Pakistan. Several extortion calls were essentially being made. Let me quickly go across to my colleague Mridul, who's joining us from Amritsar, where these raids have carried out. I'll take a quick question from Mridul, Simran and Piyush Ori, all 3 reporters who've been getting us the latest updates. First to Piyush Ori, who's joining us from Chandigarh, where most of those who have been detained have now been brought to the NIA office. Piyush, do we have an idea of the number of people who have been detained so far? Earlier we were told 6, but this number appears to be only rising.
So you rightly mentioned, Shravan, that yes, the numbers of the people detained continues to be rising, and because there are a high number of people who may have been detained, the NIA officials at the moment is still keeping the number quite guarded. In fact, not only from Punjab, but a lot of NIA officials from Delhi have come over here to make sure that this operation today that was conducted, these raids that were conducted, was successful. So yes, there have been detentions, but at the moment what I can tell you is that the NIA officials, taking into consideration of the sensitivities in the case, is keeping the number guarded, and they will only come out with the detail until and unless the arrests are going to be made. Having said that, yes, today there was a large number of raids that were conducted to make sure that all those associates that were involved with Arsh Dalla, Lawrence Bishnoi, as well as Sukhdev Singh, who we know as Sukha Dunke, were implicated. There were hard evidences, there were leads, there were evidences that were found against them. And yes, the NIA through these raids have been able to find some very important digital evidences. Not only digital evidences, they've also been able to get the financial transactions. But now the important thing from here would be to note is that how many arrests have been made from these cases. Back to you in the studio.
Right. Well, thank you very much, Piyush, for getting us the latest details from Chandigarh. This is the very place from where those who have been detained have been taken to. let me quickly go across to my colleague Simran, who's joining us from the national capital, tracking closely the details of this operation. Simran, quickly take our viewers through the details of the operation. For how long was it being planned? How many officers have been involved? And the number of locations where these searches have been carried out. A quick recap of what we know so far.
Which have been also prominently seen at the national capital and the Union Territory of Chandigarh as well. This is actually the Delhi NCR region was also prominently been supervised by one of the gangsters, notorious gangsters, which is also under the scanner of the NIA, which is Kala Jatedi, who has also been under the scanner. So in connection with the nexus of the terror funding and also how these Hawala transactions were incoming from abroad, the state police and of course the NIA officials have been working in hand to actually conduct these raids, especially when we talk about Delhi, from where we have been reporting since the morning. The Kala Jatedi gang has also been very prominently been wanting in this case. He was also carrying a reward of 7 lakhs when he was arrested in 2021 and was also questioned actually in fact in 2022 in relation with the case of the murder of Sidhu Moosewala. So yes, of course, after these raids have been conducted, more such action from Delhi is also expected. Back to you in the studio.
Well, thank you very much, Simran, for getting us the latest details. A quick check from also Amritsar, where the raids were carried out. My colleague Mridul Sharma is joining us. Mridul, just quickly take us through the details of the raids that were carried out in Amritsar. Which were the locations where these raids were carried out, and do we know the names of those who've come under the scanner in Amritsar?
बिल्कुल श्रवण, मैं दर्शकों को बताना चाहूँगा कि अमृतसर में कई जगह पर रेड की गई है, लेकिन सबसे महत्वपूर्ण बात यह, सबसे इम्पॉर्टेंट ये कि कल यहाँ पर गृह मंत्री अमित शाह पर आए थे और अमित शाह ने राज्यों के मुख्यमंत्री के साथ भी बात की है। नॉर्दर्न काउंसिल की जो बैठक थी उसके बाद ये कार्रवाई ज़्यादा बढ़ गई है, ये एक्शन देखने को मिला है। लेकिन जो पूरा एक्सटॉर्शन का अभी आपने हाल ही में जो बात की है विक्टिम से, उस पूरे नेटवर्क को यहाँ पर धराशायी करने का काम किया जा रहा है। और सबसे खास बात ये अमृतसर में देखने को मिली है कि जो भी खालिस्तानी प्रो खालिस्तानी जैसा नेक्सस काम कर रहा था, नेटवर्क काम कर रहा था, उस पर बड़ा एक्शन लिया गया और ये एक्शन अभी रुकने वाला नहीं है। हमारे जो सूत्र हैं वो ये बता रहे हैं कि एक्शन लगातार जारी रहेगा। श्रवण,
thank you very much, Mridul, for getting us the latest details. Mridul, Piyush Ori, Gursimran and Simran getting out the full details. In fact, this crackdown is expected to continue. It's here at Republic TV where we'll get you all the latest details. That's all that we could pack in this edition of This Is Exclusive. News and updates continue on the other side.